everybody, thanks for watching. This is going to be a re-recording of a video that I had tried to upload this morning, and something happened with the audio, and I apologize if you tried to watch it and you were thwarted. This, hopefully, fingers crossed, the audio will work okay in this video. So I'm just going to talk about what I was talking about then, which is 2 things that I do today to earn additional income. So this is going to be sort of a Tuesday series on my side hustle and the things that I'm doing to help me get out of debt and move into more financial prosperity. So where I am, I'm working full-time, and that 9-to-5 job pays the bills barely. Like, I have enough for food, housing, clothing, utilities, things like that. Like, I can keep lights and water on, and that's about it. I can keep my car on the road. So if I'm going to make any headway whatsoever, and it pays the minimum on the student loan, which it would mean that it would be paid off in like 10 years, right? So if I'm going to make any headway at all, the way to do that, A, is to increase the value of my skills in the marketplace in my day job. B, is to earn additional income on the side. So these are the things that I do to earn additional income. These are my side hustles. Number 1, I teach music lessons. Now, I have no like conservatory training or anything like that. I've just been taking lessons since I was 6 for the past many, many years. So I play violin and viola. Those are my 2 main instruments, and I teach 4 students. I mean, it's super on-site. I teach 4 students, 3 at a studio, and then 1 privately. I go to his house, and they pay me in cash $30 every week. So at the studio, I have an hourly rate of $30, and I teach 1.5 hours a week for a total of $45, and I get paid every 2 weeks, so that's $90 every 2 weeks, which, to be honest, pays for my gas to get there and maybe a little bit more. Like, we're talking like a soda from McDonald's more. But I could scale that if I wanted to. I could get additional training and get certified if I wanted to. I don't really see that as being like a huge cash cow for me. It's something I do more because I love it. And also, I mean, $30 maybe fills up my gas tank once a week. So that is side hustle number 1, and again, I do it more for love than for money, but I do love it, and it is a source of additional income. The second source of additional income is my eBay business, and I will leave the link to my store down below if you want to check it out. And so this is how that sort of happened. Last April, I took a course from Ramit, Sethi, the I Will Teach You to Be Rich guy, and this course was called Earn 1K, and I challenged myself to earn 1K in a month, essentially the cost of the course. So I said, okay, it was a big investment at the time. It's still, it's $1,000. It was $997 or something like that if you pay all at once. And I was like, all right, we can do this, but let's try to earn back the cost of the course. So in that month, I used his principles to grow my eBay business. And there are a lot of other channels as well on YouTube that will help you to build up if you are interested in eBay, they have like great tips and hints and how-tos on how to start an eBay business. So 2 that I think of are Daily Refinement and State's Place, and I will leave links to those 2 channels as well if you are interested. Super easy, super relatable, and it's a lot simpler than people think. So my challenge to myself was to earn $1,000 in 1 month in the time it would take to complete the course. And it was kind of like neck and neck. So what I did was I listed items around the house. I spent nothing for additional inventory. I just picked up random things around the house to see if I could, and so I didn't have to have anything for inventory outlay. And you would be surprised, like that whole like sell things. Dave Ramsey says just sell everything, everything you can. So that's what I did, and I actually found some things that were like worth money that you would not think. For example, we had an old auto harp in our just sitting around, and that thing ended up being worth like something like $300. Like, I looked up sold items, and that actually, so we had 2. 1 went for $300 and 1 went for $250, and it was like crazy. That was $500 right there. So it was like neck and neck in this 30-day time frame that I set myself, and it was like down to the wire. I sold the auto harp, I sold some clothing here and there, and it was like the last 3 days, I think I had 3 sales that came in, and it put me just over that $1,000 mark. So I got to like, I want to say maybe like $1097 by day 30. So I did make that $1,000 goal that I set for myself, and I figured, okay, like this could be something that I could run with. I could use this eBay business and sort of scale it up and be able to keep doing it. So that's what I did. That was in April of last year, and I've been running it on and off since then. And it really, once you get it down and you get the idea of how to list, things to take pictures of, measurements, and I guess timing and structure, like if you're going to do a fixed value or an auction. Almost all of my stuff is fixed value. I do very few auctions. And then like pricing. So those are kind of the main items to think about when you're listing items on eBay. And that's been a pretty reliable source of side income as long as I'm willing to put in the work, because it's not difficult, but it is fairly labor intense. You have to stand there and take pictures of everything, and then you have to upload pictures and list things, which takes, depending on how many I can usually do, like I'm like at a moderate pace, I can usually list about 10 to 12 items an hour. But that's like focused work, where that's all you're doing. So it's somewhat passive at this point. I'm just relisting items. I'm not really listing any new items. Or at least I hadn't prior to this past month. So now that I'm really starting to put a little bit more effort into it, I'm seeing my sales go up, because eBay is very consistent and the algorithm is very predictable. It rewards consistent new listings. It rewards you by moving your items higher to the top of the search rankings. It's all about algorithms, right? So last month I was like, I set myself a goal. I said I wanted to sell 30 items, but I didn't quite make that. I think I got 16 items last month in October. So here is a rundown of how much I made. So I have a basic store subscription, which I decided you'd re-up for a month. And I did this back in April, and I thought, like, it's worth it. Let me commit to this for a year. And then I re-upped this past April for a full year. And I think it's like $19.95. And it's totally worth it for me. And I end up making that back easily with the number of free listings and the sales that I make. So last month I listed about, I want to say 15 new items, but I sold 16 items. So it kind of worked out to one in, one out. That's not always the case at all. Right now I have about 340 items listed total in my store. And again, it doesn't always work out one in, one out. But last month I made $323 gross with almost no supplier inventory costs, because that was all retained from past investments that I made, the mailers or whatever. And figuring out shipping and how you're going to ship things is another thing to kind of work through. But again, once you have that settled, you're usually good. And so my pricing model is, aside from the things that I found around my house, I try to invest no more than $1 per item. And there are I source items from different locations. My average sale price is about $10 an item. So I had that $323 in sales, $75.68 in fees, for about $248 net. And that fees include the yearly subscription of $19.95, yearly monthly subscription for $19.95. Yearly commitment to a monthly subscription of $19.95, to be clear. So with my total profit, that works out to about $15 per item, which is not too bad for only, I would say, maybe 2.5 hours of work. So what happens is, once something sells, I have a filing and inventory system, and I go to the box that it's stored in. I pulled it, and I print out a shipping label, and I send it on its way. Super easy, super simple, and fairly passive. So, this is the one thing you need to know about eBay. For taxes, you're usually good, and just keep your receipts as far as shipping supplies, any office investments you make, any driving you do to pick up the shipping supplies, and then the cost of inventory that you're selling, which for me is fairly low. For taxes, the only way eBay issues a 1099-K to sellers who either exceed $20,000 in gross sales or have more than 200 transactions in a calendar year. So in this calendar year, I have 89 transactions. So in the last 2 months, I could do up to 100 and not have to worry about the 1099. But if you are looking to be higher volume, then that would be something you would need to think about. So those are the two main side hustles that I have, my music lessons and eBay. I am working on adding in more, because that is the only way, or that's one of the best ways to move forward. These are the moving years. This is hard. This is like the work portion of my life. So, in this journey toward financial abundance. So I hope to kind of keep this series going on Tuesdays and share with you some of the side hustles that I'm working on, and hopefully that will grow, kind of like an income report, but also like hustle report. And this is just how life's going to be. So for the month of November, my goal is still to get that 30 items. I did 16. I had a goal of 30, and I came in at 16. I'm going to set another goal of 30 and try to come in right at that 30. So that's my goal. Those are my hustles. And this is what I got for you this day. Again, I'm sorry about the previous upload and the sound. Hopefully this one is better. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you'll keep watching.